People imagine Rome's fall as a single day of chaos, but great things rarely end with a crash. The end of Rome was a slow, quiet fading, a change that crept over generations. Most people didn't see it happening. They simply woke up to a world a little harder each day. It's not about emperors or battles, but about ordinary people, farmers, craftspeople, families who lived through the twilight. Their secrets aren't in books about kings, but in the soil, the workshop, and the bonds between neighbours. Rome's world was vast and interconnected, but the system grew too big, too fragile. When it began to fail, it didn't collapse overnight. It was like an old tree, rotting from within. They adapted, finding strength not in fighting but in helping each other. Their story is one of resilience, a reminder that humans are adaptable. The lessons of Rome's fall are not about loss, but about transformation. This is the story of survival, not collapse. It's about the quiet power of ordinary people, and it begins with a whisper, not a roar. Collapse was a quiet thief, stealing things so slowly people barely noticed. Pottery stopped arriving, grain shipments shrank, coins lost their silver. Roads grew rough, bridges weakened, and each change was easy to dismiss, until less became normal. People adapted quietly, relying on local weavers and wells as aqueducts failed. The world shrank from empire to village, from distant Rome to the people next door. We, too, live in complex systems, rarely seeing the fragile chains behind them. The lesson: pay attention to quiet changes. Build resilience now, not later. As Rome weakened, the land became life's anchor. Cities shrank, people returned to the countryside, realizing true wealth was in the soil. The ability to grow food became the most valuable skill. Farmers, once overlooked, became the new society's cornerstone. Their deep knowledge of land, seasons and animals was priceless. Survival meant knowing wild plants, hunting, fishing, and understanding the local environment. This was a return to ancient wisdom, seeing land as a partner, not just property. Food preservation became an art, drying, salting, fermenting, storing every scrap. Resource management was essential. Planning, patience and skill kept families alive. These weren't glorious skills, but they were the ones that mattered most. Today we're disconnected from the soil and seasons. Rome's survivors warn us, ignorance of food is dangerous. Learning to grow, preserve, or even identify local plants is resilience, not a hobby. It's reclaiming essential human wisdom. Security starts with understanding where our food comes from. The Earth's wisdom is survival's foundation. In a world of uncertainty, the soil remains steady. That's a lesson worth relearning. In Rome's prime, specialization ruled. Soldiers, lawyers, spice merchants. But when the system broke, specialists struggled. The most valuable people became generalists, those who could mend, build, grow, and adapt. Jack-of-all-trades became masters of survival. Practical, hands-on skills replaced narrow expertise. Resourcefulness was key. Broken carts became doors, scraps became tools. Repair and reuse replaced consumption and waste. Everyone became a bit of an engineer, carpenter and farmer. Intelligence shifted from books to hands, solving problems with creativity and skill. Blacksmiths, weavers and woodworkers became community pillars. They adapted old technologies, making them simpler and more robust. Today, we are again highly specialized, often helpless without experts. Rome's lesson over specialization breeds fragility. Learning practical skills, sewing, cooking, repairing, is a step toward independence. It's about becoming capable in a world that may demand it. The generalist's mindset is resilience for any age. Our stories celebrate lone heroes, but real survival is collective. The lone wolf dies, communities endure. When Rome's authority vanished, people relied on each other like never before. Trust, cooperation and mutual support became the new currency. If a harvest failed, neighbours shared food, knowing next year the roles might reverse. When disaster struck, the community rebuilt together. No payment needed, but the promise of future help. This web of obligation was stronger than any imperial law. Disputes happened, but survival depended on sticking together. Councils settled conflicts and shared rituals bound people as one. Belonging wasn't just comfort, it was survival. Today we're urged to compete, not cooperate. Rome's fall warns. Isolation breeds fragility. True security is knowing your neighbours and building strong local ties. The time to forge these bonds is before crisis hits. A friendly face next door is the best preparation. Community is the ultimate survival tool. Alone, we're vulnerable. Together, we're strong. When systems break down, many believe violence is the answer. Warlords and bandits did rise as Rome fell, taking by force. But their power was fleeting. They produced nothing and soon turned on each other. The true survivors weren't the most violent, but the most cooperative. A network of friends was a better defence than any wall. Farming villages thrived by building, planting and creating. Their strength was in production, not destruction. A full granary and skilled craftspeople offered real security. Violence burns itself out. Cooperation grows new life. Communities defended themselves but avoided conflict when possible. Sometimes they paid tribute to avoid war, not cowardice, but practical survival. The goal was always long-term well-being, not short-term dominance. True power is the ability to create and sustain a home, a family, a future. Warlords are remembered for destruction, quiet communities for survival. In our world of conflict, this lesson matters. Building is always more powerful than breaking. Cooperation outlasts violence. The legacy of survival is found in what we create together. That's real strength. When civilizations fall, knowledge is lost. Libraries burn, schools close, skills vanish. But essential wisdom survives in the hands of ordinary people. Farmers, midwives and herbalists pass down vital skills, parent to child, master to apprentice. Monks quietly preserve knowledge for a future they'd never see. The seeds we save today may be tomorrow's lifeline. Let's keep knowledge alive. History remembers the loud, the emperors, rebels, conquerors, but true heroes are the quiet ones whose names we'll never know. The woman who kept her family fed, the man who taught children, the blacksmith who kept tools sharp. Their heroism was daily and unseen. They wanted their children to grow and their community to endure. We should celebrate these quiet heroes. Their legacy is not in monuments, but in us. Rome's fall isn't just history, it's a lesson for today. Our world is as complex and fragile as Rome's, facing climate change and instability. The quiet survivors of Rome show us how to build resilience, locally, together. Share a tool, plant a garden, cook a meal. Every act of cooperation matters. They passed the flame to us. It's our turn to keep it burning. The story doesn't end here. If these echoes of history sparked your curiosity, imagine what's next. Join our growing community, where the lessons of the past shape a brighter future together. Subscribe now, and let's carry the flame forward. One story, one act, one future at a time. Don't forget to like, share, and ignite the conversation below. See you in the next chapter.